Hello, everyone. Good evening. Happy Monday. Good morning. Good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing well. I have to tell you right off the bat that when I was recording last time, the camera, it freezes a lot. It's something to do with the model, and it never cuts out in fact, it usually continues recording after I notice it's frozen. So I didn't realize until it was uploading on YouTube and I was watching it as it was uploading my own recording. I was watching that it cut out almost 15 minutes of the astrology in the last recording. So it was basically a recording about my sister passing away, but I apologize. I did not recognize I was talking smack about Mercury at the time too. But thanks so much for all of your comments, your condolences, and your kind words. I appreciate it. I'm really, anxious to get to work now. And so if you've ever wanted a session with me, I am wide spanking open. I'm really excited. Oh, that is Venus behind me. And their other ones are running around. There's too many cats now to keep track of where they are. But yeah, so I'm really happy that you found Michael and the Galactics to sign up for that. I was happy because I forgot to pin that comment. I commented and I forgot to pin it. So I will leave the link for that. And then coming up in June, our next new moon, we have our new moon group that will meet monthly. So you can sign up for that. You can sign up, and become a part of Ageria's circle. And yeah, so I'm excited about all of the new things that we have coming. And that really brings me to the full moon. Metatron and I were discussing what would be helpful to share. As you know, if you watch any other astrologers, there's always a lot of ways to look at the energies. And yeah, it's really, when he's saying that this is a time to end the doubt in the self and recognize that we are the prize, that we are loved, that we are valuable, and that we could accomplish whatever it is that we choose to accomplish. So I know a lot of that astrology was cut out, but luckily not a lot has changed, because what's really big now, and was the last time, is that Vesta with Uranus and Mercury there. So I'm going to go over the times that was happening without Mercury, but that Vesta Uranus, we talked about that in the last video. So I'm going to talk about the times for this full moon in Sagittarius. Happens right about the Great Attractor. So it takes place almost 14 degrees of Sagittarius. So if you have planets in the middle of the mutable signs, Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius, you will feel this more, but if your moon is in Sagittarius or any big placements or a lot of placements there, then this will be really significant. The Great Attractor is an anomaly in the center. It's not the galactic center at the end of Sagittarius. It's an anomaly in the center of Sagittarius. It is about 200 million light years wide, and they don't know why, but it pulls in everything around it. So, speaking of my sister, her moon was there. And I found that a lot of times with placements there is a loss, but there is a gain. So the moon is the mother. That's Loki over there. The moon is the mother, and she had lost, her mother. She was adopted by my mother. So it depends on what the planet is. But a lot of the astrology is about after there has been he's saying tumult. Something tumultuous, something maybe unexpected, something that was very surprising, that then we, recover and move forward. And he is saying that part of our recovery, he's saying a significant part of our recovery is that we choose then to move forward, that we recognize that there is life after. So the time is going to be for London, it's June 4th at 4:41 a.m. And in Sydney, it's 1:41 p.m. In the United States, it's on June 3rd. So Central Time, that's 10:41 p.m. So this is a full moon in Sagittarius. So we look to Jupiter. Jupiter is in Taurus now. He's right up against the North Node. If you notice, Jupiter looks like the funny looking number 4. He's right there with the North Node. He's squared to that Mars down in Leo. Venus at the end of Cancer, and then Mars there at the beginning of Leo. That their midpoint is square to Jupiter. So, I mean, when Mars and Venus are together, yes, feminine, masculine, so it can signify a couple, but it also is just like our playfulness, our heart. It can even relates to like drive and intelligence and what it is that we're creating. And what it is that we truly believe. When it's something in Leo, then of course it answers to the sun. So what is it that we truly believe ourselves, he's saying, capable of and worthy of, and how far can we go in that? That's where it's almost like shifting your thinking of that. Really, when you look at, you know, Uranus, Vesta, Mercury, it is shifting your thinking. Raphael is there as well. So that I always look at Raphael as a healing, you know, that asteroid is something to do with healing the heart. So this would be, you know, healing our mind. Really perfect time to, you know, put together a new way that you're going to speak to yourself. He's saying a good time to have a full moon ritual that is focused on you and bringing joy to the inner child. So capturing that Mars and Venus in Leo, squared to Jupiter. Squares are challenging, but they're the most powerful aspects that we have. So if you think about Jupiter, the great benefic, behind that Mars, kind of pushing that Mars-Jupiter, it's like inspiration, creativity. So yeah, try to give yourself time around the full moon, just to kind of sit and meditate, or, you know, maybe take a walk and not listen to anything. See what comes to your mind because of all of the ways that the planets are speaking to each other in this astrology. You'll have, you know, significant probably breakthroughs, ideas, maybe answers that come in that you've been waiting for. So we look at Jupiter at 5 degrees. He's at almost 5 degrees of Taurus, and the symbol, the Sabian symbol for 5 degrees, is a widow at an open grave. So the grave is open, right? So it's about recognizing like the eternal us, right? The part of us that is eternal, and the physical, okay? Because, you know, Taurus is the physical body too. So, you know, what can we do? And how can we, he's saying, initiate, like bring in that, that playful kind of energy of initiation to the physical body, you know, and also, of course, Vesta with Uranus and Taurus, with Mercury, and on a full moon that is at the galactic, or the great attractor in Sagittarius. This is a great time to change habits. Always good to like add a habit that you like, that is good for you, good for the physical body, rather than focusing on breaking an old habit. You know, we want to change our thinking, or I do, to the future and what is beneficial and what makes us feel like we're progressing, rather than focusing on, oh, I really need to quit that. You know I recognized eventually that resenting the habit was keeping me in it, because anything that we resent, including a person or a situation that happened, it will just keep attracting it back to us. You know, I was sharing with one of you earlier this week that when I was really wanted to finish this habit that I had, that I asked the Creator just to take the desire away from me. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not who I am. And it did. It went. So it didn't, you know, magically occur in that millisecond. It could, It could. But yeah, eventually it was just ew. I really just had no desire at all. And so that's what we're talking about, you know, kind of working with the eternal aspect of the self and the physical, and how do you bring that into the physical body? You know, cleaning up anything with diet, or, you know, and exercise even with this astrology is a really good idea. I wanted to also, oh yeah, and then I wanted to mention Venus, well, because he told me to. Venus is at the degree, it's a significant degree. She's at the anaretic degree of Cancer, getting ready to move. So 30 Cancer is 0 Leo. But the Sabian symbol for that is daughter of the American Revolution. Daughter. We're not gonna, not that organization, but daughter of the American Revolution. So, you know, what did the founding fathers were from a lot of different countries. But, you know, it's about like kind of embracing the multicultural you as well. You know, everybody, all in the astrology world, everyone's joking about all the planets in Taurus and everyone gaining weight, or at least being hungry. I noticed for sure that my daughter is a lot hungrier than she usually is. This is also a good time to add, why was I, oh, yeah, to change, he's saying fine tune the physical body, speaking to the body in a new way, accepting our body, accepting like all the ways that our body, like just telling your body like, thanks for, you know, helping me recover from that sprained ankle, or, you know, because mostly we don't address the body, right, until something goes wrong or we don't like it. So this is a good time to do that too. It helps. It really does help. And it helps just to, you know, bring in that connection so that you can hear more easily. So I wanted to talk about, like, from planets that you have, let's say like 17 to 22, about maybe a little earlier than 17. You can use your own discernment for that. That those are really getting whacked right now. So that's where the Saturn Pluto midpoints are hitting. The Saturn Neptune midpoint is also hitting. We have Vesta, Uranus, Mercury. Mind you, Mercury won't be there as long. But they're also at that degree. So just if you have placements there, Chiron also is at that degree. So if you do, and Juno, that signifies partnership. So if you have planets at that degree, most likely you're feeling it already, even if you don't know like what degrees. And also it's important to notice your midpoints, like the halfway point between the planets. And it's also important to look at your progress charts as well for things like that. Like if you notice that something's going on, just take a look, and you can typically you can figure out what it is that's happening. Mars and Pluto, or sorry, the Mars-Pluto opposition that we are having, he was talking about that this is like time and fire and becoming the diamond, right? When we're under that kind of pressure, that it helps to fine-tune us and we become the diamond. So now Pluto is going to tip back into Capricorn on the 11th of June. But really, you guys, when Pluto is just barely coming in, so whatever took place for you a couple of months ago, that will most likely be the story of Pluto in Aquarius. But Pluto, I don't really look too much at like the change in signs. You can, you know, right when they first go in, something significant will take place. But then you really feel that when they get to about 3. I feel like for sure 2, because they're kind of in that, you know, anaretic kind of energy where it's like you're getting both. Okay. I was thinking about when, you know, I wasn't on YouTube and Pluto moved into Aquarius. If you go back to 2008 and you think about the way that a company that you had a long relationship with, like how they treated you, that used to be significant. I feel like it was almost like the tip-off, because we bailed the banks out, right? The taxpayers did. And then, I mean, just the little guy taxpayers. Well, we're pretty much the ones that pay taxes, so yeah. But also, it doesn't matter now. If you've had the same phone, you know, cellular company, let's just use that, you know, for 30 years. You need to, like, it used to matter, and now it's kind of like you're lucky that we're here kind of thing. Just how different that relationship is. And I also feel like it became, it probably, I mean, obviously these things don't happen in a span of, you know, a decade or a decade and a half. But I feel like it just became so much more obvious that we are no longer a consumer economy. We're a shareholder. Now it's like the shareholders making the money. That's the bottom line. It's not like, do we make a good product at a great price and now all these people are going to buy it? It's how much less can we spend on making this product? How much, you know, how much faster do they have to replace it so that our shareholders are happy, right? So I just wanted to say that. I also want to say, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but that when they showed me, I just said, you know, show me something with Pluto and Aquarius. They showed me implants, but not like the typical ones, you know? It was weird. Well, I mean, some people may think that that's always weird, but it was like places where, you know, you wouldn't want something bigger. Like, yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know what that meant, but that's what they showed me. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I just also want to mention too that new moon group, the first day of the new moon group, Saturn will move backwards. So I think that is exciting. Because Saturn is, you know, whenever he stations to move forward or back, you feel him like a lot. And so I'm excited because I always love to do the transmuting, the vibration of Saturn, because we think of the Lord of Karma. When you actually pull that vibration in through your body, it's feminine, it's stable, it's happy, it's loving. And so I'm excited for doing that with our new moon group. But yeah, the 17th, so it will move back from 7 Pisces. So if your birthday is around like the 25th of February, he's going to be there. He's there, and he's going to continue to be for a while. End of June, then we come up to Mars square Uranus. So we'll talk more about that in the next video. But this is like, this astrology is like a courageous, determined move forward. You know, Taurus has grit and determination. You know, they're the bull, and they will hang in there. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I have that Taurus Scorpio axis, and those of you that have a lot of planets there know, like, letting go and things finishing is a challenge. So this is really about just putting the past away. Whenever Pluto and Mars are in that conversation that we were having this past couple of weeks, a lot of old buried, he's using the word buried resentments, will start coming to the mind. You know, or I have someone that I work with on a regular basis who had something that we, you know, believed we had worked through, that came back up, a couple of things. So it is going to bring up stuff. It's meant to, you know, it's the spiral, right? I always say that damn spiral. You know, we think that we're finished with something and we keep going, and there it is, you know, but it's always like at a higher octave, right? So also, I also want to mention, because this is important. So Vesta was one of the daughters of Saturn. So we associate her, of course, with Capricorn. But she is where you make a commitment. This is like an opportunity to break free from wherever you've committed that you're not there anymore. Your heart's not there. This is the time to go. And you'll probably be prompted. It could just be something that, you know, eventually the choice goes away from us and it's given to someone else because we aren't making the moves, right, that we need to make. But Vesta, you know, she is a commitment. Okay, I'm going to have to use myself because I don't like to talk about other people's charts, but my Vesta is on my daughter, who is completely dependent and can't do anything for herself. It's on her moon. I'm her mother. So, you know, so it isn't that I, you know, have to have her here and take care of her 24/7. I choose to do that. But it's also that, you know, I didn't choose that she would need that help, right? So now I'm you know, that it's kind of like the extra, or like something that, I don't want to say, well, it could be something that you paid a price for. It could be. But it can also be like this, like we're talking about, where we use the vibration, you know, to recommit to the physical body, or the way that we talk to ourselves. Yeah, and that, because of the astrology, and with Jupiter with the North Node, whatever we are taking off on right now, it's going to bring in a lot of resources, lots of abundance, but also like harmony and abundance, not just resources, like abundance of love, abundance of shelters, if you're looking to buy a bunch of houses. I mean, it's a lot of abundance, and just depending on where this falls in your chart. And then leaving the comfort zone, you know, anytime Uranus is involved. So, you know, you don't want to like overdo it physically, but maybe do something, change it up, you know, like, I still do not so tough aerobics from the 80s. So maybe I'll go back to Billy Blanks for a while, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because you just want to kind of zhuzh it up, change things up a little bit. And then, yeah, remembering that time and pressure make diamonds, and to be kind to yourself. Yeah, so anyway, guys, I am really happy to be back. I apologize that I was cut off so much last time. And I hope that you're having a great fall or a great spring. We're almost into summer and winter now. I'll get the flowers put in when I have more time. But yeah, I mean, moving out of disappointment, the widow at the grave, moving out of that, allowing yourself the grief, or, you know, so long goodbye to whatever it is that changed for you in this last period, this last few months, and then moving on to, he's saying, greener pastures, calmer shores, and really, yeah, so I know why he's saying, he wants to make sure that we keep in mind that just because something has played out in a certain way, that it doesn't mean necessarily that it will continue to play out that way again. So, you know, if we've always been disappointed in relationship, then, you know, figure out like what is it that is allowing you to choose those people, and then make an effort that way. And also, he's saying that this is a great energy for conflict resolution. So that is interesting that he mentioned that too. I like it that the ascendant is on Aldebaran. That's Archangel Michael's royal fixed star. So maybe time to catch up, give somebody a phone call, or have that conversation that you've been waiting to have. And then we have Venus. Then right after this full moon, Venus is going to move into Leo. So then we have Mars and Venus in Leo. So it's really important that we get out and play, and have a good time, enjoy being alive while we're here. That's why we came. So anyway, everyone, thank you so much once again for being with me, and I hope to see more of you signing up for Michael and the Galactics. I keep that a limited number because it's a lot of work that we do, and significant changes with the DNA. We work with the laws, we work with the angels, obviously, the vibration of love and light, our spirit animals. You know, we do all of that fun stuff, and I'm excited to do the galactic stuff. And then the new moon group, Ageria's Circle, I will leave the links to sign up in the comments. And yeah, everybody, hopefully I will be with you again next week. Take care. Namaste. Bye-bye.